Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to this beautiful morning of January 31st, 2016. Now, if any of you had any New Year's resolutions you were working on and you're still keeping with them, congrats. You are 1/12 of your way through the year with those, and I wish you luck on those if you're still holding up. Just a couple housekeeping notes before we move on to today's topic. I'm sure you've noticed we've been having some difficulties with the audio over here. Not properly syncing up, and some videos slow down while the audio is remaining consistent. I'm currently working on getting that solved right now. We're trying out some different things today, so if it's worse, we're not going to keep doing that. So, bear with us. We're working on it and should be going, and my voice is... Excuse me. I'm losing my voice a little bit, so hopefully I can keep it going, at least for this video. So, anyway, today's topic. I'd like to share with you something that happened to me a couple years ago that really kind of began to get me thinking about how I treat people and what my place in the world is, and how I should better be able to handle myself in stressful and perhaps upsetting situations. And I'd like to say I'm not going to preach to you, but these videos have pretty much been me preaching to you. So if you appreciate my preaching, please continue appreciating my preaching. If not, sorry. I'll try my best to satisfy. So, just a note, I won't be using any names. People who know me will probably know what it is, but don't worry, it shouldn't be offensive. So anyway, a number of years ago, I had gotten in my first somewhat serious relationship. I'd like to say that it was great, and it felt wonderful for the time, and my partner was a wonderful person, and they very much are. But we weren't a great match. We didn't treat each other terribly well, and in the end, it ended up being a fairly nasty breakup. And it was my first real significant romantic relationship I'd been in. I'd had others, little dates here and there, but nothing terribly serious like this was. And I have this habit of growing very attached to my partners, regardless of how long it's been or what the actual quality of the relationship was. So I took this particular breakup exceedingly poorly. And we'd been friends beforehand, and we used to hang out with the same people, and we spent a lot of time together with these people even before we were a couple. So like I said, I didn't take this breakup particularly well, and it ended up being something that I was kind of obsessive about it, frankly. It was always something where this other person was in my face, not of her own accord, but since we would hang out with the same people, she was always around. She was doing what she very much had a right to do, in which was see other people, pursue her own wants and needs, which is absolutely 100% in her right and what she should have done. And that was something that I had some difficulty with. And I was not terribly good about it. I felt really angry. I was really upset. I felt like things had been going relatively well at the time. And suddenly I felt like the rug was swept out from underneath me. And suddenly she was seeing other people, people who I knew, people who I had spent a lot of time with. And that felt almost like a betrayal. It wasn't. This is something I've come to realize. It was unfortunate, and maybe she didn't handle it the best way either, at least as far as my feelings were concerned. But what I did was I actively hated her. And for me, active is a key word here. For me, hatred is not like disliking someone. Hatred is when you, every time they come up or every time they're brought up, you actively feel anger against them. And that fed a lot into my kind of obsession with this whole thing. I was very, very angry, and I let everyone know it. And I said some very, very hurtful things to other people, friends of hers, friends of mine, in an attempt to kind of sway opinion and make people feel bad for me. And this went on for, I'd say, a good year or so. I still felt very angry. I was very upset. It was something that got in the way of my other relationships, both with my friends and then people I later on got to be romantically involved with. Because it was still something I was so bitter and I was so hurt about. Now I'd like to clarify, I'd like to think, and I believe, I had a right to be angry. I had a right to be upset. But I didn't have a right to be hurtful. I didn't have a right to feel hatred. Hatred is never a good thing. It's bad for both, obviously, the target, if you're actively hating them, if you're trying to plot to make people work against them. But it's bad for yourself, too. If there is something that has upset you about a person so much that you feel like you need to hate them, they're not worth your time. They may even be a good person, but there is something about them that has made them so toxic to you that you want to hate them. That's clearly not an influence you need in your life. That was something I only learned after a long time. And frankly, in some way I have to thank my ex-girlfriend, because she formed a lot of my opinions about how I should treat people and what I didn't like to see in myself. And at the end of the day, I was a stronger person for it. I started reconciling with myself. I started apologizing to other individuals who I had hurt in this process. I've still got a long way to go with it. We are just now kind of beginning to be able to be around each other, which is obscene, being years after the fact. It should have been much earlier, but I was not open to that. But it's something we're working through. And it's something I'm going to have to get over. If someone has hurt you that bad, no, you don't have. You are not obligated to ever return to them. You're not obligated to have to put yourself in a position where you could be hurt again. But at the same time, excuse me, forgiveness is very important. Even selfishly, forgiveness is important. It's a way of getting over a part of your life in which you've been hurt, or in which you feel wrong has been done against you. And once you can get over it, it's freeing to yourself, mostly. Hatred, the only thing it does is lock you up. It keeps you bound to this obscene idea of revenge or betrayal, whatever it is. There's nothing to be gained by feeling hate. So it's something I'm working with. It's something I'm trying to get better at every day. And I'm not perfect. I make my mistakes. I fumble. And I still have apologies to make. Specifically to her. It's something I want to work on. And it's not good of me for putting it off for so long. But, again, working on it. So I suppose that's all I really have to say on the matter. Little down today, maybe the feeling of this video. But it's an important message, I feel, regardless. Don't hate people. Forgiveness, even if it's only superficial, forgiveness, it's a good start. It's a good way to get back on track, and it's a good way to start being yourself again. So, take care. Both of yourself, which is something I've been focusing on a lot, and other people. People are good. Just as you, my viewers, are as wonderful and as excellent as anyone could be, so are the people you interact with. So are the people around you. Treat them like that. So, have a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful January 31st, and I'll see you all around. So, I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.